Giorgio Armani or Armani Beauty just released a bunch of new makeup. There are new bronzers, new cream or liquid blushes, and this new gloss that everyone's talking about. So I'm going to review all of them, the newest Armani Beauty makeup releases in this video. So if you want to find out how they worked for me, my thoughts on it, whether I recommend them or not, just keep watching. Hey beauties, welcome back to another fabulous makeup review. This is the luxury makeup review because it's Armani Beauty and I have it all right here. So like I said, Armani Beauty released new bronzers. They are the Armani Beauty Luminous Silk Creamy Bronzing Powders. So these came in 4 shades and I have here shade number 110 Sun Embrace. I will go into detail on, like, I got another shade, I had to exchange it, all that. And then we have these right here. These are the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. So I have 2 shades right here. I actually got a 3rd shade. It's still on the way. Didn't make it here in time for the video, but I have 2 of the best shades here. I will share with you what shades those are. And then lastly, I have here the new lip glosses Giorgio Armani came out with. They are the Armani Beauty Prisma Glass Hydrating Lip Glass with squalene. That's a mouthful. So yeah, there's squalene in it. I will get into all that. I think there are 7 shades in this lip gloss. Everyone's talking about this. This one came out before the Sephora sale, the spring savings event. So this has been out a little while. I actually hauled this during the Sephora sale and I talked to you guys about it in my massive Sephora VIB sale haul, part 1 and part 2. I can't remember which part this was in. So yeah, I did review this already and I told you something in that video that I'm going to elaborate on later in this video. Of course, as always, I'm going to show you the natural daylight application demos in this video, which is how I do it always. I don't think when you do makeup application in studio lighting, it really tells the full story. I feel like people need to see it in natural daylight to get a better understanding of what they really look like, right? With no bells and whistles, no studio lighting, just natural sunlight. So I'm going to cut away to the daylight application demo, the application clip as I talk about each of these products. So let me start with the bronzer, okay? These are massive sizes. There's actually how much product is in here? 18 grams of products with a 24-month shelf life, which is quite long. And these are big, like those Chanel Le Beige big ones, which I kind of like. I don't know, when it comes to powder bronzers, I love a good big packaging, like a big pan. Here it is, it's beautiful. I really think this is really nice. I'm sorry I have all these smudges from my like fingerprints, from my fingers, oils and creams on my fingers. So yeah, I love the packaging overall. Let me show you the shade I got. As I said, this is in the shade 110 Sun Embrace. Actually, you guys, it was really weird. This is lying to you, the studio lighting. This is much, well, not much darker, a little bit darker in person. The lighting is washing it out a little bit. So the thing is, there are 4 shades I told you. I think it's like 90, 100, 110, and 120, something like that. So I got the shade 100 because I saw that like this shade, you know, I kind of thought that this, well, it's not that red, but this leans a little bit more red, like a, you know, it's not as golden as I would like it to be without being overly golden, which, you know, is what I like. This leans a little bit more red. Let me kind of show you a swatch on the back of my hand. It's actually a pretty color, but I prefer the way like number 100 looked. So I actually bought that. Usually with my medium to tan skin tone, I can usually get away with not the lightest shades, but like the lower medium shades. So which is what 100 is, in my opinion. Like, well, 90 is definitely too light for me. So I bought it, and then like I didn't even swatch it. I opened the pan and it looked really kind of light in the pan. So I was like, you know what, no, this is too light. I'm gonna get the next shade up. I don't want to touch it. So when I return it to exchange it, it can be, you know, taken, like sold to someone else without being discarded. I hate that idea, you know. So I didn't even touch it. But I wish I had. If I had swatched it, I would have seen how it fits my skin tone. But this one, you guys, as you can see here, I'm gonna cut away to the daylight application demo here. As you can see here, it's actually pretty dark on my skin tone. Like, it shows up pretty well. I don't typically like too much of a, like, you know, dark, like tan look, because I'm already tan. I just want a little bit of a warmth is all I'm looking for from a bronzer. Contour is a different story. But as you can see here, it's beautiful, but it leans a little more reddish, like that brick kind of like vibes than like the more golden type of bronzers that I usually typically like. So you see, I mean, it's beautiful. It's actually very silky. It's kind of almost like a cream to powder type feel. When you actually feel it, you can tell it's super silky, and it actually feels like slightly like cream to powder almost, and it goes on super buttery and beautiful. But what I'm not loving is this shade. It looks fine here. It looks like almost it's the right type of tone I want, but once it goes on my skin, it shows up a little bit more reddish leaning than the golden leaning what I wanted. I think number 100 was that golden leaning bronzer that I returned. It just looked light in the pan, and I panicked and returned, but I have a pretty good feeling that if I had kept it and applied it on my face, I would have seen that it would have been like the perfect shade for me, and it would have been beautiful. And then it really still is very beautiful. This bronzer is one of the prettiest, most luminous bronzers I have. This actually has a slight bit of, I don't know if you guys can see here in the studio lighting, but definitely in the daylight application demo, you will see there's a slight luminosity to this bronzer. In fact, actually, you can see it on my finger here. Do you see that slight luminosity that it has? Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So do you see how also it kind of look a little, not wet, but like, you know, cream to powder type look? Yeah, like, I mean, it's very obvious that, you know, see? There's a slight luminosity to it. It's absolutely beautiful. I love how it's giving me this sun-kissed glow without it being glistening, you know? It's very like sun-kissed, healthy glow. It's kind of like, you know, the Chanel Healthy Glow bronzers. It's kind of like that, except this is creamier and even maybe more luminous. Do I want to say it's more luminous? Because the Chanel bronzers, even though they're matte technically, they are kind of luminous as well, like with that healthy glow effect that they're trying to give. I think this is kind of along those same lines. I absolutely adore this, but I'm definitely going to add number 100 to my collection, and I have a feeling I would love that more golden leaning tone more on my skin. Sometimes it can be deceiving how shades look in the pan. You really, even swatches can be fooling you. You really have to put it on your face to understand how it's going to, like, really see what it's going to look like on your face, especially once you put on your foundation. By the way, you guys, I do this with every type of brand video I do. When I'm reviewing like a specific brand of makeup, I tend to do the full face of that brand. Today though, I didn't do the entire face of that brand, but I did the complexion products, all Armani Beauty. The foundation is the Luminous Silk Foundation. I didn't put on highlighter today because I wanted to show you what these cream blushes or the liquid blushes will look like, or the cheek tints as they call it, will look like on my cheeks without highlighter. So I'm not wearing highlighter today. So I'm wearing the Luminous Silk foundation and the Luminous Silk concealer today for this video, so that you guys can get a better idea of how this kind of like whole aesthetic looks. Okay, so here are the cheek tints. I have the two in the shades 53 bold pink and 41 flaming red. Okay, so let me show you the bold pink first. So here's bold pink. It's actually lighter than what I expected it to look like. So I was hoping that it would be a little bit slightly, I know it's Barbie doll pink, which is like a huge trendy thing right now, and the lilac makeup, like the Barbie pink and lilac really took off this spring, which is nice. But when it arrived at home, I opened them and I was like, oh, that's gonna be too light for my skin tone. And it is a little lighter than I want it to be, but it does look beautiful even on my tan skin tone. Like, it shows up, as you can see. But one dot, like this shade, the red one, the flaming red, I only need like one dot. Whereas with this, I had to really put like 5-6 dots on there to get more pigment so that it'll show up on my tanner skin. So let me show you the swatch. So now, one of the other things I wanted to tell you guys, there doesn't seem to be a lot of product in this, even though it looks pretty full. Like, I had to really scrape to get, you know, enough product to put, like, even now, as you can see, like, it's not like a lot of product isn't coming out. It's probably because it has that more like cream to kind of powder kind of formula. Maybe that's why. As you can see, it's quite light on the back of my hand, but on my cheeks, it does show up. And it looks beautiful. Here is the cutaway to this shade on my cheeks. As you can see, it really does look, at first I put it on and I'm like, oh, this is not showing up. And then as you can see, I'm building it up with more product on my cheek, and then it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it did look really, really beautifully flushed and gorgeous after I put more product and blended it out. Now, this shade, is really for tan skin girlies like us, the tan babes. So this beautiful flaming red, so stunning, so stunning on the cheeks, on my type of like medium to tan skin tones right here. So, oh my gosh, and this is pigmented. As you can see, it shows up. You need like only the slightest little dot on your cheek, and it just looks so stunning. I mean, check it out here in the daylight application demo. Absolutely beautiful. Gives a beautiful like flushed cheek look. Has like slight luminosity, I will say this also. Has a little, you know, it's not at all like shiny or glittery or glimmery, don't get me wrong, but rather a beautiful, healthy kind of slight glow to it. So yeah, these are the two shades, you guys. As you saw in the daylight demo, the flaming red shows up a lot more than the very light pink one, the bold pink. Honestly, I think the name is kind of deceiving. It's not a very bold pink, it's a very demure pink, okay? So I've seen like Barbie pinks going all the way from very slight and demure to very bold. It's definitely not a bold pink, trust me on that. Okay, so finally we have these Prisma glass lip glosses. So that's obviously what I'm wearing on my lips in this video. You guys, when I first hauled this during the Sephora VIB sale, luckily I kept the carton for some reason. I actually dug it up from, like, luckily I hadn't thrown it away. This, when I first hauled, I wasn't all that impressed. If you saw in my Sephora VIB sale haul, I said, you know, it's a pretty glass looking beautiful, pretty lip gloss, but I'm not like, my mind isn't blown. For especially the price, they're like $38. There are 7 shades, I think. $38. That's, ouch. That's a lot of money. And the shade I have here is Berry Beam. So this one is kind of, it's not really a berry, but it's a pink. I wanted to get the pink because, I mean, pink is just easier to, you know what, let me put it on the hand here. It tends to show up better. See, that's the other thing. See how I'm having to dip again? Like, look at this. I'm like literally scraping. I don't know if you guys can see here. I'm scraping the walls. There's not a whole lot of product, I feel like. That's like one of the really disappointing things. So here I'm going over it again. I feel like I keep having to dip my thing and pick up more. As you see, it's beautiful and very glass-like. But I have a ton of very glass-like lip glosses. I mean, starting from Tarte Maracuja, the new vinyl ones, the YSL glass looking ones. Oh my gosh, so many of them. And it's beautiful. It's very, very glass-like, but am I mind blown? No, it's not. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful, but another disappointing thing, like I said, I keep having to scrape. Do you see? Like the walls, I feel like even though this is a brand new component, it's like, and there is liquid up down to about here. It's like only half filled, but I feel like I keep having to grab more. Like, see how the wand doesn't pick up all that much? Watch this. You know, I mean, like not a lot come on the wand, so I'm having to like just dip, get more. But once it goes on, it's a very thin formula. It looks beautiful. It's not sticky or thick. It doesn't do the butthole lips, you know, like the stringy thing or anything like that. It's not a very thick one like the YSL Candy Glaze ones. And those can be kind of sticky and thick, but that still doesn't do the butthole lip thing. You know what I mean? It's very thin, but it gives that very glassy look. So what is my verdict? I like it more than I did with my first impressions when I first hauled it, because I do appreciate that it has a different kind of glass look, but I don't love the fact that I have to keep sticking the wand in there to get more product. I feel like the first time you put it in and you apply, not much come, and like you don't get the full glass effect, and I have to put it in again and then put a little more, and then only do I get this powder glass look. By the way, I'm not wearing any other lipstick underneath. It's just this lip gloss, so it's quite pigmented and nice. So yeah, it's beautiful. I do want to pick up more colors in the next Sephora VIB sale. I'm certainly not picking up these expensive luxury brands, although I did this for this video. If I want more shades, like more of this, I will be getting more of the cheek tints. I'll be getting the 100 shade of the bronzer, and then I'll be getting more shades of the lip gloss as well. So essentially I'll be getting more shades of all of this, all 3 products, because I actually do think they look beautiful. What do you guys think? So the squalene part is supposed to help lock the hydration in and give it like this really fuller looking lip look, and then it's supposed to reflect light, the whatever the, you know, like the shimmers in it, and it's supposed to give you pillowy soft lips without feeling sticky. I will 100% agree with that. Not even a little bit sticky, which is very different from many of the others. Even like the YSL Candy Glaze, as much as I love it, it can be sticky. It's not sticky feeling on my lips, and it just gives this really plumpy look to the lips, like a very natural plump kind of look, almost like you had lip injections, which by the way I don't get. These are my natural lips. I mean, I'm not nothing against it. Someday if I need to, I will, when I'm like older or something, but right now I don't need them. I have good lips. Yeah, so you guys, this is how they look on natural lips. This is the type of natural plump it gives. I can absolutely vouch for the fact that it does look plumping or plump, and it's pillow-like, and it's not sticky at all, and it's supposed to last like 24 hours. I don't know about that. I'm sure when I eat, this will probably come off a little bit. But if you didn't eat, this will last long, and I can tell that it is one that will last long. So you guys, yeah, that's it. That's my review of the latest makeup releases from Armani Beauty, from Giorgio Armani. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section. Do you have these? Do you plan to buy these? What is your experience with each of these products? I would love to hear from you guys. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please help me out. You know, help me grow this little tiny community into a properly big channel so that I can bring you bigger and better content. Right now I'm only doing this sort of part-time but once I grow it, I will really be able to put a lot more energy and effort into this channel. I would really appreciate it because it's a lot of time away from family and my personal life, and I want to see this going somewhere. I would really appreciate your support. And of course, don't forget to ring the notification bell, because to YouTube, subscribing is no longer enough. You have to prove several times that you want to really see my videos. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Hop on over to my more established channel, Salon Cleo, all about fragrance and other beauty stuff, but mainly fragrances. I just uploaded a bunch of really fun summer fragrance content that you don't want to miss. If you want to smell as good as you look, that's the place for you. I will see you guys in my next video.